Good Sunday evening to all you out there in Cleveland Browns fans land. Welcome into the Network 216 post-game show for your Week 12 Browns loss to the Denver Broncos on the road. I don't remember what the score was, or I would say it. I'm Jacob. That's Casey. Down below is Roger First and Cuyahoga Falls. We're here to talk about that game, give our immediate, instant reaction before we give much more level-headed and less emotional takes on our shows later in the week. So, gentlemen, how are we doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I've been coping with the loss since the beginning of the fourth quarter. It didn't like just have to set in as soon as the game was over. It was imminent. I'm disheartened a little, by the way they lost. Self-inflicted wounds and injuries, just gross, man. Just a gross performance out in Denver.
You know what? I gave up a little after you and started absorbing it, and started Googling Joe Flacco pictures so I could do my Joe Flacco era post at the end of the game. We really the injuries, man. That's what I'm most concerned about coming out of this game.
It just became too much for them to overcome.
Yeah, they had a lot of injuries, a lot of mistakes. I think we're going to get the good and the bad with Stefanski. I think you have to use some trickery when you're down to your fourth quarterback. But man, we were running the football. I wish you would have ran the ball a little more and not given up on that as much as he did, as soon as he did. But man, it's on to LA. Well, they're staying. They're on the road. So they need to regroup and figure some things out and get ready for the Rams.
Go check out our friends over at Homage. Didn't plug them. We're presented by our friends at Homage, as always. Here is my David Njoku Angry Runs t-shirt that you should go get yourself because it's beautiful, it's soft, and it has the Chief on it.
Well, I get to wash my Homage shirt that I've been wearing. Yeah, if it hasn't been washed in a couple of weeks because it's
So
it's in the laundry.
Yep. Yeah, the Sox magic ran out. They had been 2-0. They're 3-0 now, or 2-1 now. So we'll see what happens with the outfit next week. But yeah, man, I said this in some of our group chats and stuff as we get into this game. The adversity just became too much today. It did, especially, and where I want to start is DTR. I want to talk about DTR until he went down. I told you, gentlemen, pre-show, and I know you guys are in the group chats that I talk in as well, that when he went down, I thought the game was over. I was like, PJ's not going to move the ball here. It's going to put him in a very precarious situation. And I just don't think when they failed to get points, when he did get that big gain to Elijah Moore and stuff, you were like, okay, there it is. We're going to lose it. It's gone. That was their best chance to get it in striking range. And then you have the fumble and you got all that stuff. But I knew when DTR went down, it was over. But I'll start with DTR and I'll pass it to you, Casey and Roger, just to talk about the young man real quick, because I thought he played a pretty good game going into the fourth quarter. I felt pretty good about DTR quarterbacking my team in the fourth quarter it was still 17-12, right? Yeah. It was still 17-12 when he goes down. And I felt really good about what he had done in the first quarter. He looked so uncomfortable to start the game, but you could see him growing as the game went on. He pushed the ball downfield a few times, successfully hit David Njoku and Elijah Moore, and I think Cedric Tillman for some 10-plus yard air throws, and he started to finally do the things that he was scared to do to start today's game and last week specifically. And I thought Kevin was putting him in a pretty good chance. There's some situational stuff that we'll talk about with Kevin later, but in terms of what he did for DTR, I thought they were really figuring some things out. Ford was running really, really well again, and DTR was starting to open some things up. If DTR is healthy, I absolutely want that kid to be back out there on the field playing, because I'm excited to see where he can go. If he's not healthy, my God, please put Joe Flacco in there. Thoughts on DTR, Casey?
He was starting to find his footing. It was a rough start, and you can't go down 14-0 on the road. That's the third straight road game they've done that, and they've been able to compete in the other two. It became too much. But the tight window throws that he was making were big boy throws. They weren't just like all the guys wide open and he's hitting them. Nah, man, they were tight window throws. And for the love of God, man, help that kid out. How many drops? How many drops did they have again this week?
I count at least 4.
At least 4 while he was out there. And then it actually continued for PJ, but
it did.
By then I think it was whatever, too far down the road. But and even his throws that weren't perfect, man, you got to help a young quarterback. But there were several throws that were just the Chief again had that back shoulder end zone throw. That's veteran level stuff, man. Like, and it was with a free blitzer in his face, and just and he was using his legs more. He was getting a better feel for the pocket. Overall, man, I got to say DTR impressed me today. He grew today as a quarterback. Unfortunately, how he goes out, and like that hit several times. The way his face smashed the ground after he got hit, because he got hit and it spun him because it was like around here and it spun him, but his face, smacked the ground, and you can see he was bleeding out of his mouth. I'm hopeful that he can clear concussion protocol within 48 hours and be the guy, because he's a guy I think you can grow now. I think you can grow with this offense, and you can implement and be more dangerous with a player like him. But I'm with you. He can't go. For the love of God, it cannot be PJ Walker. It can't be. It's Joe Flacco time if DTR can't go next week.
Roger, what do you think about the rookie today?
Well, with DTR, he got comfortable as the game progressed, and he really started zoning in, and he gets better as he plays, I think. That drive he led, it was a great drive down the field. He like you said, to drop passes, you got to help the rookie out. I know they weren't right there. They weren't right in the hands. You got to work for them, but you have to go get them and help the rookie out. Cooper was just off today, and then, then he goes down. That's just, injury, insult on top of the injury, man. Moving forward, you know what I like to – I know that when Flacco – I want Joe Flacco – I'm thinking, in my mind, it sounds so great. Super Bowl MVP. Put him out there. But I know Joe Flacco looks like me in the pocket. You know what I mean? I know what Joe Flacco is. Last year he had one good game. Unfortunately, it was against the Browns. He went nuts. And I know what Joe Flacco is. And it's a great security blanket. But if DTR can go back out there and keep growing you have to know what you have in him by the end of the season. You know what I mean? Because next year that backup role is going to be so vital to this football team with the way Watson plays the game. Yep. You cannot go into next year with a question mark at backup quarterback at QB2. So you got to let DTR keep going out there. He's not losing games for you, and if he's not losing games for you, you got to let him keep playing.
Yeah, if he's not losing games for you, he's the best that you have on the roster.
PJ Walker will lose games for you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It was.
He has the pocket awareness of a toddler.
I put a tweet into a friend of the show, Ryan Angelo. I think is the one that put it. Let me go look real quick at this article that I wrote, because he put a tweet in it that I thought was, I put a tweet of his in there that I thought was really, really good. And he said, oh my God, of course I can't find it. He said that you could stand next to PJ Walker and blow in his ear and he wouldn't know you were there.
Yeah. No awareness. Yeah. And it just makes that win over San Francisco that much more probable. Looking back, like, how the hell did they pull that off with him?
Yeah. Does this game, almost like that aspect of this game, show why people like me have praised Stefanski the way that we have? Because you look at that and remember, he's won with that twice against the best team in the NFL and against Gardner Minshew, who was playing like an MVP that day on our defense. And that you had to get 39 points on the board to win with PJ Walker in that freaking game. Like, think about that sort of stuff for a minute. I want to start because I think it's really hard to go too much into this game right now off the TV copy, and obviously we'll see they're all 20. We'll see they're all 22 before Tuesday's Barking Browns and things of that nature. So what I want to do is I want to start with the biggest disappointment to you guys, and I have one, and I know Casey's going to try to steal mine, so I'm going to go first. I know what he's going to say, and I'm not going to let him do it. I'm going to get it in first. So I'll start, and then we'll go to Casey, and then to you, Roger. Just who we think a player that was the biggest disappointment today that led to the loss. And for me, it's Greg Newsome. He was just absolutely unplayable today. Like, you had him in the beginning, you were trying to trust your corners, and you were leaving Newsome on one side and you were leaving Emerson on the other side. And it got to the point where Emerson started following Cortland Sutton into the slot because they were like, we cannot have Greg Newsome or Cortland Sutton because he is getting his ass beat on every play. And then it didn't matter who he was covering. They were also beating Newsome's ass. And he ran his mouth. He celebrated this incomplete on 1st and 5 in the first half, proceeded to give up a 30-yard gain by staring at the quarterback and not watching Cortland Sutton get a double move and just go right to the middle and had all the air. He celebrated a pass, led up 30. On that first drive, over 60 yards because of his pass interference and then the catch to Sutton on the end. It did not matter. He celebrated a stuff on 3rd and goal where he didn't do anything, but he was celebrating and they showed him jumping up, and it was like, yeah, JOK and Taki and the defensive tackles are really good, not you, dumbass. But it was bad, man. And the reason I think it gets me so much is how much shit Greg Newsome talks to the media and in social media. And he just went out there and was just abysmal today. Mike Ford outplayed him today. And you're like, did he? And by me saying that and you not realizing Mike Ford played a ton, that shows you why Greg Newsome, because they didn't throw it, Mike Ford. Greg Newsome was just absolutely unplayable today. And you cannot get that from a former first-round pick when you have built this defensive backfield and cornerback room to know that Newsome and Ward always miss time. But because you had them and Emerson, you're like, it's fine. We can stand some losses here and there because we have these other two guys. You don't have two guys right now. You have Martin Emerson. And that's unacceptable from Newsome.
Yeah, I don't want to hear jack shit out of Newsome this week. I don't want to hear him in the media. I don't want to hear him barking. Man, bite more, bark less. That's what I want. That's what I want out of this group right now. Just, you got a road game in LA. Be focused. I don't want to hear your mouths. Go play. Go perform. And my biggest disappointment is the pass catchers, and it's across the board, dude. I saw Elijah Moore, who every time he drops one, it's like, well, he'll catch that 99 times out of 100. He's dropped enough now that that's not true.
Yeah,
it isn't 99 out of 100. It might be 79 out of 100, but he's been inconsistent. Amari Cooper on that 2-point play, man, you got to come up with it. Amari Cooper's had a few off games in a row now.
Update on Amari on 2 injuries. So DTR has a concussion that is confirmed. If you did not know, Mary Kay has confirmed that. Amari Cooper got X-rays on his ribs and they were negative. So
that's good.
Good early news.
It's good, but if anyone here's had a dislocated rib or tore cartilage in between your ribs, it's worse than being broken. There's nothing you can do to heal it right away. It's tough. So depending on the severity of what happened there, because he took a shot, and that shot, man, PJ Locke was lighting people up today. I'll get to my pass catchers, but I do got to say this about the Broncos. They were physical as fuck.
Oh yeah.
They were playing hard out there, man. They did not roll over and acquiesce to our toughness. They were out there laying shots. They got called for a few of them, even though, some of them were just good football plays. Just the day and age we live in, they're going to get a flag for a lot of that. But the pass catchers, man, like I said, Amari dropping that 2-point and Njoku on that back shoulder touchdown. I seen balls go through Jerome Ford's hands. I saw balls go through Elijah Moore's hands. You can't do that, man. You got a rookie back there making his first road start. You got to come up with those.
How does Njoku get that big one earlier in the drive and then drop that touchdown?
And that's 2 weeks in a row Njoku's dropped a touchdown. Just for the record. And I like Njoku. I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm just saying, when you got a rookie out there, man, you got, no matter who it is at this point, your starter is not, he's gone. You know what I mean? Whoever's out there is going to be a backup for you guys. You got to pick him up. So you guys got to pick up your game. If he's in your vicinity and you get 2 hands on it, you got to catch that shit. Point blank period. That's your job. So, yeah, I'm disappointed in the pass catchers. I think they could have done Dorian a lot of favors today and extended a lot of drives, man. And when you're down 14-0, man, you got to get it going, and you can't do that by dropping the ball.
Yep. Well, you took Greg Newsome, and that was the easy one to pick out. But our front seven as a whole run defense. They gashed us. They had run by committee. Nobody had 100 yards. What they have? The highest 65, 55. Wilson had 34. He was killing us in the beginning of the game in that first half with his legs and on the move. He was doing better on broken plays than he was on, when he'd get loose. But our run defense just didn't look. There was times where I'm like, "Where's Taki at? Where's he at?" Our run defense to me was the what is it?
Ooh,
Tom Brady side with us?
Yeah. In the absolute downpour and windstorm that is going on in Philadelphia, if you are not following that game, it's an absolute downpour windstorm. It's been nasty all day. And in that nasty weather, Jake Elliott just nailed a 59-yard field goal to send it to overtime.
Wow.
In a windstorm and downpour.
Do you know they just had to evacuate red zone?
I heard that. I did. My brother told
NFL
me.
red zone they're just playing that game in perpetuity. They're not jumping around. They couldn't jump around. They had an alarm go off and they had to evacuate the studio.
Yeah, my
Wacky
brother.
day, man.
It's like, what a weird day. Yeah, man, I'm with you guys on all of that. I'll say I do want to give some props to some players now. Like just my other thoughts, and we can go around and do this too. Just other thoughts I have on the negative side, and then we'll highlight a few of the positive stuff, and then we can go, or we'll move to the positive stuff. But overall, for me, actually, Casey, you go ahead and start, and I'll go to Roger, and then to me. Just your overall, any thoughts about things that disappointed you?
I was disappointed there wasn't a bigger emphasis to highlight the run game early going.
Yeah.
Early going, you're looking at a poor run defense in Denver, and it was basically the scripts got reversed. They were running it on us, and that should have been the other way around. There wasn't an emphasis to get Jerome Ford going, and every time, I think he averaged like over 9 yards a carry today. Just was not getting the totes that he needed to get. And I think you don't do your quarterback a favor on the road by setting him up with third and longs repeatedly. I think that's why that came down at the end, because I know at one point he was 8 for 63 or something like that.
Yeah.
So there wasn't that emphasis wasn't there, and that disappointed me. And everyone's going to point to that one play after PJ Walker comes in where they go to run a reverse. My disappointment isn't in the play call. I think you got to try to swing big when you're down your fourth or fifth string quarterback, whatever you want to consider him. My disappointment is in the personnel usage. How are you going to get Pierre Strong his very first touch in the fourth quarter of a game? He hasn't touched the ball in a flip reverse. That's not the time. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't into it. And then of course you cough it up there and it looks bad and everyone's going to hindsight it. You got to take a big swing, man. You're trying to catch lightning in a bottle and give yourself a spark. The personnel usage is what I was disappointed in.
On me or you, Jacob?
You go ahead.
I think I'm with KC on that. With PJ, he hasn't been in the game all game. He's flagging off kickoffs. He didn't even touch the ball on a kickoff. That's the only time he's out on the field. And then also it drives me nuts when he puts Harrison Bryant under center, man. How many snaps does that guy take a week? I'm sure in practice they practice it an awful lot, Well,
they've done it very successfully this year. They ran it all.
I know it drives me crazy when you bring your third string tight end in to take snaps. I can nitpick this whole. I can sit here and nitpick every little thing. Just watching that game, it was ugly. They were sloppy. A lot of penalties. We beat ourselves. I felt like we beat ourselves watching that game. I'm like, the Denver Broncos aren't beating us. We're beating ourselves. He got out-coached. That's my biggest disappointment is Stefanski got out-coached today on both sides of the ball all the way around from beginning to end.
Yeah, they didn't look prepared. And last week they had one penalty. And this week it was just an avalanche of penalties. You know what I mean? It was the juxtaposition. Like they did not look prepared and focused as a whole.
Yeah. It was kind of clear in my mind early, and as times went on, that they were It was weird. It was just the game felt weird for me. I think only giving Jerome Ford 9 carries is a big problem for me in this game. Just because, you gave him 12 carries last week, and he had half the yards. You kept giving him the ball last week when they couldn't run against Pittsburgh, and you don't run him here. I like Pierre Strong. I like him being in the game. I just don't like because I get people are like, well, there it is. That's why you should get rid of Stefanski. And it's like, I don't know that the play was a problem outside of who you used, like you said, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it wasn't the play. It was that you decided to give Pierre Strong his first offensive touch there. That part of it's a problem. But if Pierre Strong makes that one guy miss, I mean, he's got a shot at getting some yardage on that game if you watch it, because there's one guy there that he's trying to avoid when he fumbles it. And that's probably part of why he fumbled it.
Yeah, and shout out to DJ Jones. He made a play there, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's Jimmy's and Joe's over X's and O's, and right there, that dude made a play. Like, he blew it up.
And he had to chase it down, too. Because it shot all the way back down the field. They had to really chase that down. They really worked for that. I think for me it's the run game. I'm just disappointed because I thought you could have done better. I agree with the run defense being an issue in saying that's a part of it, because they schemed you up just like Baltimore did the first time. They knew exactly what you were doing. Your defensive tackles were too wide, so they just ran in the gap that was right there, and it was there all damn day. Now, I will say they did pick it up for a while in the third quarter. They were playing better in the third quarter. They got forced a couple of punts there and gave the Browns a chance offensively. And then, of course, what happens. But, I'm just disappointed you didn't run the ball more, because even though oh, my God, Mark Sanchez was awful. Like, everything was like, you threw the ball? Like, if you didn't listen to Mark Sanchez, count yourselves as blessing, because it was awful. But I would have given Jerome Ford the ball more. I would have given the ball more in the beginning, so it never would have been a question about – I get it at the end that you have to throw. You're down multiple scores. It's the fourth quarter. I get that part of it. It's the early on that I just didn't get. And I liked some of those early throws because I think they helped him get confidence. It's just like I would have given Jerome Ford at least 15 carries, at least 6 more carries minimum.
Yeah, when dude's averaging 7 yards a carry, man, like you got to lean on that. That's
you
free
give him
money
15
right
to 20
there.
carries when he's doing that. I mean, he was averaging 4 or 6. Yeah, he was averaging 6 yards a carry against Baltimore. So you gave him the ball 17 times, and he had 107 yards.
Yep, that's the move.
Right, and he only carried the ball 9 times. We had 16 total carries. There's a good time to get Strong in there and get his feet wet is throughout the game and get him a couple carries. In those 6 to 8 more carries we could have had, and get him involved in the game instead of standing on the goal line on kickoffs.
And nope. Oh, stop running Kareem Hunt unless it's a short yardage.
One first down, the first down runs the Hunt because you're getting 3 at max.
Yeah, no more first down runs for Kareem Hunt. Short yardage and goal line, give it to him all day, baby. Yeah. I wanted him so bad to hand that ball to Nick Harris in the Wildcat. I was yelling. And that's how stupid I am, because Nick Harris would have probably, Randy Gursey said this, like, Nick Harris probably would have fumbled it, would have been returned for a touchdown, we would have got our asses kicked. But my God, was I excited about it. I was like, give the ball to Harris.
Yeah. And Hunt's probably not used to handing it off. So
what a play call. Yeah, 2 people open. I mean, when I look at some of the things with Stefanski, and then I look at a play design like that, and then it works, I mean, that was a thing of beauty.
There were several like that today.
And I knew he was going to go for it when he ran Hunt on 3rd down. I'm like, he's going to go for it on 4th. And man, when they came with the wide package, I thought he had it too, the big man. But what a play, man! I mean, when a guy draws something up like that and it works, it's just a thing of beauty, man.
So
I want to talk about one more disappointment before you go. So I synced up the radio broadcast with the TV so I didn't have to listen to Mark Sanchez and Kevin Kugler. And it wasn't Jim Donovan today. It was Phelps and Zagura. That was a disappointment for me.
Yeah, but
I didn't know it wasn't going to be Jimmy D on the call.
It was still much better.
That's my bad.
Oh, that's for all the Phelps. I didn't know.
I didn't either.
Yeah, Phelps is hard to listen to.
Yeah.
He made a lot of mistakes today. I'll tell you that. And Segura would have to correct him.
And there was a lot from Mark Sanchez. It was like anytime they would throw the ball, he's like, why aren't they running the football? And sometimes he had a point, but he literally wanted Stefanski to run it 57 times today. Like that, Mark Sanchez was like, I wouldn't be dropping back to throw. Why are we It was the craziest shit. So we'll go around, talk about a player as we kind of get to the tail end of this show, because we're just kind of letting ourselves vent a little bit about some of the pissed us off. And I'll watch the L22. I'll feel better about it. I'll remind myself they're 7-4 and they're going on the road to face a Rams team that they are more talented than if they show up. So I felt like they were the more talented team today too, but whatever. Horse in the barn. I want to start with JOK, man.
Oh my God.
He at one point he had 50 snaps, 10 tackles and a sack or something. They brought that up on the screen and it was just like, if there was when they were stopping the run, when they were having success against the run, it felt like JOK was the one that was there. Not that he did it all himself. He slowed down the runners on several times, including that 4th down or the 3rd and 1, where he got some help from his friends in the end, but he was the reason the play was stopped the way it was. That sack, I literally looked down for a second and looked back up, and the ball had been snapped and he had been sacked. It happened that fast. Like, it was just like, I like glanced away because I was looking at like something out of the corner of my eye, and I turned back a second later and he'd already been sacked. Like, JOK was in a cannon. Like, when he's feeling himself, like when he's doing good from the start, he's really, really good. And he just understands, like, he doesn't fight through tackles. He's small. That's his thing. He knows that. He knows he can't go through him, but he goes around him and in between him and you're like, there's no way a dude that big should be able to just go and slip between two people like it's nothing. Like, it's insane what he does when he's tracking the ball and he gets in that laser vision. He can see things. He's like, I don't care. I got to get around him. I got to get there. And I thought he was just absolutely fantastic today. That punch out to force the fumble. That was, if you are trying to teach somebody about the punch in the secondary on the defense, this is how you punch. You show that. He just comes up and he goes, boop. And Alex Wright, Mr. Johnny on the spot, is there for the recovery. So, like, for me, JOK, lots of awesome stuff from JOK today. Honorable mention for me. No, I'll get to my honorable mention after you guys go.
Well, I'll say this about JOK. You can't get off the bus looking like the Prince of Zamunda and not play well. Like, you got to back that up when you show up dressed like a king. And you touched on Alex Wright's another one that deserves consideration. Played hard and got a lot more snaps than we usually see him get. Zadarius was banged up. Obviously, we'll talk about Miles later, but
he can't
scared right there.
He just, from Mary Kay just a second ago, can't seem to lift his left shoulder, needed help getting a shirt over his left arm.
He had trouble putting his helmet on. I saw that during the game. Like, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to give mine to some guy who didn't have a crazy amount of volume, but he showed up, and there was a sighting of him in the game, and it was exciting. That's Cedric Tillman.
Ah, you bastard.
Was that your honorable mention?
It was my honorable mention.
Well, we've been waiting on this. He's that guy that's going to be able to give you nice intermediate work, big, strong hands, nice size target. Will collapse on the ball and we've been needing to see him. That's something since DPJ left. There's this vacuum, and no one's really filled that spot. We got to see it today from Cedric Tillman. He's starting to grow into his role. There's a lot of promise to him, and it was really promising because him and DTR played high school ball together at Bishop Gorman in Vegas. So to see them come up through the ranks, play in high school. You saw them light it up in the preseason, but to see them start to connect in real games and start to have that rapport, man, that was exciting for me.
4 for 55.
Look good. Kid look good. Look strong. Looks like he belongs out there. That's what I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What you got, Roger?
I'm with you guys on Koromoa. Despite the showing with defense, the front seven today, Koromoa, all over the field. And Grant Delpit again today, a solid game from Delpit. My network 226, those guys. Those are my two guys right there. You know what? I have a luxury. I have a baseball mind. So sitting at 7-4, the only thing I don't like about that is Pittsburgh sitting at 7-4 with Kenny Pickett, and that irks me. But sitting at 7-4, I look at it and say, all right, we have 6 games left. I need 3 of them. I really want 4 of them. And on that schedule with DTR or even Flacco, I see the 3. And which one is it? The Rams, Jaguars, or the Texans? Can we get that pick up that 4th win? And I know one game at a time and the next week, but that's how I think.
Yeah.
I look at the long game, and we need 3 of these next 6. 4 would be wonderful.
I look at it the same way I look at it in segments. I look at 2 of the next 3. You got to win 2 of the next 3.
Yeah.
You got Rams, you got Jags, and then you got the Bears.
Right.
You win 2 of those next 3, you're golden. You're right where you need to be. So, as players can't afford to do that, but as fans or analysts or whatever you want to refer to us as, that's how I see this next 3 games. You give me 2 or 3, we're straight.
Myles Garrett in a sling right now in the locker room said he heard something in his left shoulder pop.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get
I don't doubt it. That's the same left shoulder that he hurt in the car wreck, and he always has that kinetic tape on it, So it's something that's given him minor issues even when we don't notice it, or he wouldn't have that tape on there.
Hopefully. Ooh, I would be okay with sitting him against LA. I would sit him for LA.
If that's look, man, if that's what the doctors come to, and I'll tell you what's up with us and fucking shoulders though?
Oh my God.
Come on, bro. Like shoulders?
You know what? I knew that this episode's F word would be used on shoulders. I knew it going into this. I just am shocked that it wasn't me that said it.
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's okay. It's just I thought I would have said effing shoulders by now.
That could be the name of the show.
What?
That could be the name of the show.
Oh, effing shoulders.
Yeah.
That's definitely getting demonetized. It's like we ain't making a penny off that damn thing. It's like, oh shit. Subscribe to the channel, like this video if you want to see more content. So that bothers me. I'm really worried about that. But I thought Ogbo was good again today. Zadarius had some plays that were nice. Shelby Harris and Dalvin Tomlinson had a pretty good game again in the past game because they were really good. Well, Russ threw for 150 or something today. So like he didn't
get 150, did he?
I don't think he did.
102 yards.
That's what I'm saying. He couldn't have got more than one. No, but he got that 30-yarder there at the end. Remember?
Ah, that's right, to Sutton.
Yeah.
Greg Newsome. Yeah, never mind.
Yep, you remember.
That checks out.
But yeah, good for Cedric Tillman, man. Played another good game, or played a good game finally. Got that opportunity, made, like you said, that high school connection. That was really cool. Really good to see him be able to step up, especially because we don't know what's going on with Amari. They just can't figure it out health-wise, man. They continue to be batted and hit down and beat down by all that stuff. But Martin Emerson's still that dude. Wyatt Teller was moving people in the run game on a level that reminded me of vintage Wyatt Teller that got this contract, and that was fun. Man, they're 7-4. They've got the pieces, got to get them healthy. But man, there's plenty of talent on this team where, like you just said, you get 2 of the next 3. You're looking at 9 wins already. Just remember, you have as many wins as you had all of last year right now. I mean, you were 7-10 last year, 7-4 right now. So, you've done that. You're still in a really good spot. You're going against a team that you should be able to beat in LA. And then you get to come home, play a tough Jaguars team, and get the Bears on the road. And who knows what will happen there, man. So just get healthy. That's all I'm worried about as we start to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I don't know if there's enough time to get healthy before LA. I think you might have to just prepare with a mass unit. And it might be for the better, man. Because if you're going to turn it to Flacco, you might not be able to wait for a concussion protocol. You might just say, look, no matter what, he's our starter. Let's prepare as such from Jump Street.
Just DTR, DTR might be the backup, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And then that means you have to hold on to PJ for at least another week. After that, I expect him to be demoted to the practice squad or just cut outright. We'll see how it goes. But it's, you're gonna have to pivot because you immediately, no one's gonna feel sorry for you. You got to go in. The Rams team is beatable, but they just put it on Arizona.
Yeah.
I don't know what the final was, but it was 37-14 or something the last time I saw a score. They can put up some points. The defense has to come to play. You might be without your best player. You might be without Amari Cooper. Who knows if Denzel's back? Like this is going to have to be a mash unit. This is going to have to be a masterful coaching performance against LA to come out of there with a victory, just because you're so decimated.
So 37-14 was LA's win over the Cardinals today. 37-14. Roger, any last thoughts?
Man, just get healthy. Get healthy.
Yeah.
They just got to get out there and be focused. Be focused in LA. And you know what's going to be good news is Larry Walker. He was questionable this week. Get him back into run defense. Right, he was missing today.
Yeah.
So that's going to help too if you can get him back out there on the field on defense. No, man, things are still. This thing is far from falling apart or over. So let's just go to LA and get a W, man.
Is Cam Mitchell due to return from IR this week, or is that the week after?
God, I don't.
It'd be nice
remember.
if it was this upcoming week because they could use him.
Do you remember what game was it after? Was it after Arizona? Do you remember what week that was?
It feels like it was Arizona because that's where, because he had.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then no.
No, it was Baltimore, wasn't it?
Well, if it was Baltimore, it's even worse because if it was after Arizona, he's missed 3 games. How many games has he missed? Like, because if he got hurt after Baltimore, then it's. I thought he got hurt after Arizona. That's why Baltimore, they had to play Mike Ford on the outside.
Okay, no, you're probably right. You're probably right then. Yeah, so Baltimore. Yeah, so it's only 3, so he won't be eligible until Jacksonville. I'm just trying to find a bright spot. I'm trying to find something to look forward to.
That would be a really important game for him to get back for. Would be Jacksonville. Yeah, for Cam Mitchell, which is just funny that the 5th round Northwestern, I have more confidence in that guy than the 1st round Northwesterner that he replaced.
Look, man, if you play Greg in his position, dude, I don't know why Greg was on Sutton. To me, that's not the move.
Yeah.
That's not the move. And he was getting abused. It's just, I don't want to kick a guy when he's down, but for a guy who barks as much as he does, man, that is not the performance you want to have.
Guys, stay tuned all week. Like, comment, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Stay tuned all week. Scarlet and Gray podcast talking about the Buckeyes' loss to Michigan. Yard Dogs will be before us at 7 on Tuesday night, and then me and Casey and Nick for the Barking Browns after we've seen the All-22. We'll come back at you with some more in-depth thoughts, having absorbed that. Roger and the boys on the Dog Chug Wednesday at 10 after the 8 o'clock show for Faithful Dogs. So stay tuned to the channel. We'll have all kinds of great stuff coming up for you. This one sucks, but there's 6 more. Go out there and focus on being 1-on-1 each week, and let's see what can happen. So, as always, go Browns.
Go Browns.
Oop.